Hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Wednesday, the 20th of January, 2021. It's time for the Toe for Spin Meteorites Hangout. And I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of talking today. So I have my my coffee mug full of coffee, and I have some water. But I want to share a few things with you guys that have been going on as far as the Quartzsite show. A lot of the rock shows have been canceled, and unfortunately, the Tucson show has been postponed, minimalized, and maybe canceled. We're not sure. But in the meantime, we take what we can get. And the Quartzsite show is happening currently and still going on for several weeks. So if you can get to Quartzsite, Arizona, you can go to the Rock and Mineral Show. They have tons of rocks, minerals, all kinds of terrestrial stuff, agates, whatever. But I went there to see two of my friends. And I went to them to check out their meteorites, and they did not disappoint. I left penniless, but pockets full of meteorites, and even did a little personal shopping for someone while I was there. So hooked them up as well. I do have a little of pictures and video of some of the things that I saw. So I want to get into that, but before that, we have two guest videos. And last week I felt so bad because technical issues wouldn't allow us to share the videos live. I had to splice them in, and it kind of stinks because Marco and Maxime really do put a lot of effort into their videos. They put as much effort into their videos as I put into my videos. Not maybe these lives, but their photography, their lighting, their narration, their scientific information, the samples they show off are always top notch. And we encourage anyone internationally, if you want to send in a video, I'll definitely highlight it and put it on the live. So with that introduction, I'm actually going to cut right now to the videos. I have them from Maxime and Marco. So hold on one second. All right, so here is a little guest video. Then we're going to do a check-in from Quartzsite. And then for those joining us live, if you want to stay tuned, we're going to have a little bit of a main mask sale, one of the perks of being with us live. Here is Marco Gaisser. And you guys, if there's a problem with the video, let me know. But here we go, Marco's weekly check-in.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing good and you're enjoying the Hangout. I think now it's time to see some nice oriented meteorites, so have fun and enjoy.
Yeah, first piece today is this 28 gram Achondrite-ung. It shows a very nice aerodynamic form, great flow lines, and a nice rollover lip. So if we turn it around, you see those great flow lines here. And on its back side, a nice lipping.
Wow, that's a hardcore lip.
Also here on the front side you can see some flow lines.
I wonder what caused that huge divot.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. God. Man.
And here's the second piece for today. It's a 7.54 grams Cameldonga eucrite. It shows a very nice glossy fusion crust with radial flow lines And on its backside, of course, a nice rollover lip. All those great features that oriented meteorite should show.
Wow, just glossy.
Yeah, and that's the backside of the piece. It's almost completely covered with fusion crust. And look at those flow lines here.
Oh my.
That's, by the way, my first HED meteorite in my collection.
It had to be oriented though. Camel dongas are beautiful. You can see through the fusion crust. It's so thin. That's a pretty good rollover lip.
Yeah, and today's third piece is this 524 gram unclassified NWA chondrite. Unfortunately, it's a fragment, so we have only one part of this nice stone, but it shows quite fresh crust. Here on the front side you can see clearly those radial flow lines.
Whoa.
And on its back side it shows that pooling, so the frothy bubbly fusion crust, and a very, very thick rollover lip.
Is that?
I stopped that here now. The rotation, and look at that. All that is a rollover lip.
Whoa.
Here we have frothy fusion crust, and this is a rollover lip.
I hope he has a.
Hello everyone!
Oh no.
I hope you're all
Fine. And a very, very thick. I stopped that here now. The rotation, and look at that. All that is a rollover lip. Here we have frothy fusion crust, and this is a rollover lip.
That is crazy. Where does he find these? Wow, that must have been streaming over the edge for a while.
Okay guys, these were the pieces for today. I wish you a great hangout, have fun, and see you next week. Bye bye guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Marco. See what I mean? He puts a lot of time into their videos. You guys can hear me, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next we have Maxime Denoncin checking in from Belgium.
Hi everyone, Maxime here. I hope you're all doing great. So today's for this week hangout, I wanted to share with you some microscope videos and pictures I've taken with a new microscope I received some weeks ago. And this allowed me to rediscover a big part of my collection because I have a lot of micro specimens, and it allowed me to have a closer look at them and to discover very interesting details on them. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. So enjoy. Okay, so the first specimen I wanted to share with you is this NWA 5400. It is classified as a brachynight light ungrouped achondrite and shows a very nice internal structure, as you can see. And actually there was a lot of discussion about it because due to its oxygen isotopic composition, which is very close to the one of Earth rocks, some people advanced that this meteorite was in fact a piece of Earth that was ejected a long time ago, maybe during Theia impact, the protoplanet which theoretically led to the moon's formation, and fell back on Earth millions of years after. Anyway, further studies showed that this theory is not correct because other isotopes, such as chromium isotopes, are too far from Earth samples. And it is now thought that this meteorite takes its origin in a nebula reservoir close to the one of enstatite and ordinary chondrites, but that it experienced a petrogenetic history much closer to the one of brackenites. Hence the similarities between the two groups.
Wow. That is a absolutely beautiful meteorite. It looks like, I thought it was a lodronite at first. Wow. That's gorgeous, man.
The second meteorite I wanted to show you is this unclassified NWA, which has a wonderful crust, very glossy crust, and contraction cracks. So I don't have a lot to say about it, except that I find this shape and curves absolutely wonderful, and I really wanted to share those images with you. So you can see how glossy the fusion crust is.
That is
and
remarkable.
All those cracks and those curves, they are really great.
That is beautiful.
The next one is the wet-fired specimen I showed you some weeks ago during my first hangout.
Oh.
So this is the one which have a big metal vein going through the crust. And I wanted to have a closer look at it, and I was really amazed. So you can see how thick the fusion crust is and how thick the metal vein itself is.
Look at that.
And that's really amazing.
Look, you guys can see my mouse, right? Look at this entire metal vein, how deep it goes in the rock. And that's what caused this shock vein to go down this way. But that is gorgeous.
Also, unfortunately, you can see
wow.
that there is some rust on the exterior side of the metal vein. And I have no idea how I could prevent that from happening. Because I don't want to ruin the crust that's around the metal vein by trying to treat that.
That is gorgeous.
So if you have any idea on how I could just try to remove that rust, it would be great.
Yeah. Well,
hi everyone, Maxime here. I hope you're all doing
that. That was at okay. I actually had someone ask me this question, and I believe they're actually joining us tonight in incognito. And that's one thing, is you can join these hangouts. You don't have to honestly use your real name if you don't want. You don't have to have your camera on. You don't have to have your microphone on. If you really just want to be a fly on the wall, there's nothing required of you. But I believe if you look at the names of who's with us tonight, you'll see a fly on the wall. I love it. So the question was, I've had meteorites in storage, some chondrites in storage, stony meteorites in storage for quite some time. Upon looking at them for the first time in quite some time, they are rusting, and that's something that wasn't expected. Well, this shows you that this is Ued Saif. It's a witness fall, and it is definitely, this piece is extremely high in metal, as you can see. And a few hangouts ago, we discussed Maxime's piece, and we discussed that beautiful shiny patch at that time, beautiful, super shiny patch of metal bleb, we thought, on the outside. Now with the microscope, we can see it's not a bleb as much as like a bleb or a smear. It's a vein. It's a thick hunk of metal in there. And it's so much metal that now it's showing signs of terrestrialization. Earth is a very harsh environment for meteorites. They don't like oxygen and they don't like moisture. And those are two things they never had to deal with until we as collectors have them. Or they're exposed actually to Earth, honestly. But so Maxime has a piece here, and it's funny that he raised the question in this video I saw yesterday about how do I clean this without damaging my stone. And just today I was contacted by someone, how do I clean my chondrites without damaging them? So I think this is something that I want to discuss afterwards with you guys. So yeah, I don't want to interrupt his video for it, but I do want to have a discussion about this subject, because if you remember 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, that was a beautiful shiny bit of metal.
Have a closer look at it, and I was really amazed. So you can see how thick the fusion crust is and how thick the metal vein itself is.
It's a beautiful stone.
And that's really amazing. Also, unfortunately, you can see that there is some rust on the exterior side of the metal vein, and I have no idea how I could prevent that from happening, because I don't want to ruin the crust that's around the metal vein by trying to treat that. So if you have any idea on how I could just try to remove that rust, it would be great. Then for the rest, I just wanted to share some pictures with you without special comments and just to admire the beauty of meteorites.
I believe that's Ickby. I think trying a new format, and that's J. Billet Whistlewong, carbonaceous. I didn't format the pictures properly. I'm very sorry, but that's a beautiful one right there.
Beautiful chondrites.
Yeah. Look at this right here. Whoops. We're going to have to go back up on that one. Look at this chondrite right here. It got obliterated. It got cut, and something impacted it and broke it, is what, my untrained eye is telling me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at just how tightly how little matrix, how little solar dust is between the chondrules, that's amazingly beautiful. Oh, why does it do that? Oh, hold on, guys. We're not supposed to see that yet. Okay. That's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
That's an expensive beauty. Ooh, that's Taza. Good.
Okay guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the videos, and also I just wanted to say that it was really incredible for me to have a look at all those meteorites through my microscope, and it just reminds me that what we are collecting is simply amazing. All those rocks are billions of years old and they all tell a different story, and yeah, that's really unique, and meteorites are just incredible. So yeah, that's it, and I hope you have a great hangout this week guys, and see you next time.
Right on. I hope to get to Brussels one of these days, because I don't know if you're a coffee guy or a tea guy, but we're gonna have a drink together, buddy. Yeah, some beautiful stuff, and again, such quality content. I'm really thankful that that Maxime and Marco are helping out weekly. Since you already saw it, we might as well snick right to it. I went to the Quartzsite show this past weekend, and went there to visit my buddy Mohammed Hamani right here, wearing his Dave Giesling shirt. met up with Ashley and John Humphreys, and had a great day. As you can tell, we really didn't care much about what people thought about us. we were there buying space rocks. We didn't care. John and I got down to business. And if people don't know this about me, I mean, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'1½". I'm 230 pounds, but I'm scared of dogs. It's been a lifelong thing. That's why they call it a phobia. It's an irrational fear. I know it's not rational fear, but for the first time, actually probably the second or third time in a decade, I touched a dog. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah, and these are beautiful, well-trained animals. Just, yeah, it was a pleasure.
What are those Malamute Huskies?
I'm not sure. John and Ashley will be glad to tell you about their kids. I just know that they were carnivores with large mandibles, really, really close to my genitals, and I'm afraid of them. And dogs can smell fear, so they know I'm afraid of them, which makes me more afraid. So I smell even more. So they smell me even more. No, they were good dogs. They were,
Get
and
a
they're beautiful.
bottle of Breeze.
They are beautiful, beautiful animals. But
They are.
and if you look in the back there, you kind of see some of the stuff that I will not focus on during all my lives. But look at those amethysts back there.
Cathedrals.
Yeah, the geodes.
Yeah, I mean, they have some there that are so big you wonder how in the heck would you even transport it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, those are concrete forms, and they glue the individual amethyst crystals inside.
Are you
So
serious?
those are manufactured and not natural.
Are you serious?
No, he's pulling your leg. Those are natural.
Okay.
They come out of Brazil.
I hate you guys. See, I'm not a terrestrial guy, but I've also been told at the Tucson show, you see these big plates of fossils and stuff, and those are fake. Some of them are fake. Some of them are real. If they look absolutely perfect, whatever, it's like they're fake.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
you got
in Tucson a couple years ago, there were, I'm a 6'4" guy. There was one of these kind of amethyst geodes that was so big I could, if they didn't have the crystal, I could stand inside it, standing up and have 5 feet over my head.
Oh man!
I mean, it was just humongous. No one looked like a bathtub. It was gorgeous, but I don't know who could afford to buy these things. That's museums or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just huge.
And the thing is, it's like they're not going to fall over. You don't have to worry about like playing football inside and knocking one over. Does anyone have an idea what we're looking at here?
Martian.
Yeah, those of us who watched the video already.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're on to me.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I was blown away by, and that's not the best picture, but I was blown away by the, it's nice to, and I'm not trying to get egomaniac here, but it's nice to have friends that are important, that trust you, that give you access to this kind of material and allow you to hold it and walk 50 feet away from them, out into the sun. I mean, as I'm live streaming it on Facebook, I think it'd be pretty stupid to run away with a piece of Mars, but but just look at the crust and the flow on that. It's just absolutely crazy. And I have a little video here. I think this is the video. No, it's not the video. There it is. Here is one of Muhammad's centerpieces in the Martian offering. You're looking at over 31 grams of the most beautiful crusted Martian I've ever seen. Even better than Tissant. And I have Johnny Tombstone on that as well. And Ashley's here with me as well. Just a beautiful beautiful, stunning.
So I got 12 from that one table. Does
that right there was it. I mean, there was no way I was buying it, but it was impossible to walk away from. And I mean, he let me touch as much as I want. Of course, I'm going to. So for those
the
out,
largest Martian you've had an opportunity to hold in your hand?
no, this one right here, my personal one is 43 grams or 43 or 44 grams, something like that. But this by far, I mean, yeah, I would trade 6 of mine for this one.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. So let me see here. I think.
Yeah.
Here is one of Muhammad's. Nope. Okay. Now this is something that I sent to Pat Brown while I was there, because Pat Brown asked me. I do a lot of personal shopping, so whenever I go to shows, I have a list of clients that are looking for stuff, clients and friends, and Pat wanted low petrological like L3 or chondrites, and also anything cool and carbonaceous. Well, this was about as weird as it gets. We don't know what it is, and he wouldn't sell it to me because he doesn't know what it is and wants to get it classified. But look, you can see these, the chondrules. And then on the next picture, you can definitely see it's a fusion crust. It's not slag or anything weird like that. Here's in fact a little video of it. Not quite sure what this is. No magnetism, very low density. Very low. But it definitely has chondrule there and 2 there. Yeah. What?
Yeah, it's without a doubt a meteorite. As far as what family it might be, it's really tough. You know, and you know, we can tell a lot from videos, but we can't tell the whole story. But
it's extremely light, but it's not friable.
Yeah, and the hole in that crusted surface is really bizarre as well.
Yeah. When he first showed it to me and handed it to me and asked me what it was, I was going to say it was a piece of the road that he picked up on the way over. It honestly looks like a piece of asphalt type.
Oh yeah.
And he handed it to me. It's light. I'm like, what? And I see these chondrules sticking out. I'm like, the hell am I holding? Yeah. So a real man of science wouldn't sell it to me, which was awesome. So I do want to let you know that the Martian that we just saw belongs to Mohammed Hamani. If you would like to get in contact with me, you can always reach out to me. If that's a meteorite that someone wants to purchase, I'll put you in contact with him. Next, I visited another friend of mine. This is Ismaili Muhammad, and a good friend of Pat and Stephen Amara's as well, frequent shoppers. So yeah, we disobeyed the law and took our masks off.
Oh boy.
So Topper, if you want to freeze right there for just a second,
yeah.
This rock right beside the extendable magnet in the upper right, that one is definitely interesting. Those look like giant chondrule blowouts. If I had caught you while you were still there, I would have asked about that one. But
you know, the one that caught my attention, does anyone see anything? Which one in this picture has a really unique feature besides those blowouts? There's 2 of them that stood out to me. I didn't see the blowout one.
I'd say the one right in front of the one that Pat's talking about. It looks like it's oriented.
Exactly. Oriented with a painted line rollover lip.
Yeah.
I in my live I showed that one a lot because it was really interesting. But I actually sent pictures to Marco. Didn't know if he would want to make a move on it or not. But yeah, I thought it was a terrestrial ley line where where it sat onto the earth, and maybe that's the weathering line. But no, it's an actual rollover drip, and it's like a button type. There was another one that caught my attention based on the look of its texture. If you look at like 11 o'clock, the small one there with the rumpled, it's rumpled but smooth texture, speaks melt to me, like an impact melt. But it just is just a weird shaped meteorite. It's not an impact melt. Because if it was, that means it's probably going to have a nice interior. It's going to have some nice features that when you cut it open, you're going to know what to expect, or at least have some if it's good for cutting or if it's good for display as is type thing.
So Topher, before you make the decision to cut something, will you make a little window in an inconspicuous area of the meteorite first before you venture forth to cut it?
Yeah, the only reason I wouldn't is if it's a complete and it's all oriented and it's like, there's some pieces like the Anaconda or Adamanda stone that was found in a pile of cow shit, I think it was in Arizona. I actually met the farmer who found it. That one was so perfect that it will never be classified. No one will ever cut anything off of it. It'll never get classified. It'll never be on the MetBull. It officially doesn't exist. It's so perfect. Way out of my budget. So I'm cutting a window in anything before I cut it up, for sure. With the exception of maybe that one that has that rollover lip right there. That's an oriented one with a rollover lip. Those are the features that I'd want to buy it for. So I necessarily wouldn't care as much about the inside beauty.
What was he asking for these things?
I believe I don't know, to be honest with you. I wasn't there for NWAs. The going price, if you go out to the rock shows and you put in the work and you pick out the beauties and you walk away with winners, expect to spend from a good dealer with good discounts, expect to spend 40 to 50 cents per gram. If you're buying by the kilo, they usually like if you're buying 10 kilos or something, they can work with you. But normally anything small is going to be about 40, 50 cents a gram. There was some Alhugan 001 that Mohammed Hamani was selling for 15 cents a gram.
Oh.
Yeah, that was pretty nice material too.
Yeah.
Now, there were definitely some pieces in there that were totally terrestrialized. Part of that wound up in a dry lake bed, an alkaline dry lake bed is basically destroyed. But there was some nice stuff in there, and 15 cents a gram, that's a deal.
Yeah. But the thing is, so at shows you can make a score, if you put it. But it's the thing is like when I went there to Tucson and I scored all the dripping oriented Sakota lens like Marco showed in the beginning. Sure, I bought them at really cheap price per gram, but I went through 5.5 kilos of small pieces with an eye loop, wore out 2 sets of batteries. My eye was all bloodshot, and I walked away with 500 grams. I bought less than 0.1% of the material offered to me. This one I bought right away.
Well, you did buy it, okay?
Yes. I didn't want to say on the live that I was going to buy it or not, but I knew the second I saw it, it was going home. This is Dar el Kahal, and it's not alcoholic actually, so that's good. The main mass holder is Ismaili Ismaili Muhammad, the man I bought it from. So I paid a little premium for it, but it's supporting the main mass holder and supporting a friend and supporting his efforts to be at a rock show in America. So I don't regret it for a second. Besides, look at the beauty of it. That metal inclusion up there is just crazy. I still want to inspect it and see what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I think the big inclusion by your ring finger on the left photo. Well, I guess on both photos there.
Yeah, it's just different lighting.
Yeah, that's going to be an iron sulfide of some sort, quite possibly troilite.
Okay. It's beautiful. I mean, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. So in the live, I put another video on my YouTube channel that summarizes the whole day in an hour. It's definitely worth checking out because it shows this one in detail and a lot of these other things in detail. But this one, I've won it for about 1.5 years. I almost bought a slice in Tucson and just held out. And I'm really glad I did because it's not a complete slice, it's a partial slice, which is a little bit of a drawback to me, but I'll trade that for that inclusion any day. Yeah, so there you actually see the gentleman's name, Muhammad Ismaili, but he goes by Ismaili, or you can also call him Smiley. This is a eucrite. It was, I don't want to, I tread lightly because I don't want to say anything that could be construed as a negative statement against one of my friends. Ismaili is a friend of mine. He has to rely on information given to him and his own knowledge. When he's selling stuff at rock shows, this is a warning for everyone. When you're buying stuff at rock shows, you'll see an NWA number written down to something. 80% of the time, if the Meteorite crew and I walked into a Tucson dealer and we could identify errors and show them that it's not that, it's something else, that number actually belongs to our friend and it's not his material. You know, this is, and they'll rewrite the number and stick it out there, and for the rest of the show they'll sell it as that. You're kind of rolling the dice. You got to be an educated buyer, as in everything. But this was just a gorgeous eucrite he had. And he had it listed as a monomic, but I don't see that as a monomic myself. Look at the size of that clasp at 3 o'clock. The entire nub.
Yeah.
I wanted this one so bad, but had I bought this one for 10,000-ish and the Martian for 10,000-ish, I would have driven home to a divorce-ish. Some other slices that he had to offer. And if you look there at 7 o'clock, there's a Dar el Kahal just photobombing you guys.
Mhm.
I have a question for you guys. What class am I? Do we have any guesses? There is no wrong answer, by the way.
I think we're in the caramel corn class on this one.
We're in the marshmallow class.
Yeah, it's burnt sugar.
I applaud you, Pat. You're great, man. We want to be
fusion crust on there. It looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, this is my 20. Actually, I think it's like a 10-gram sample of creme brulee, captured in the Chandler, Arizona region. Oh man, yeah.
Nice CEIs.
Yeah, so that's actually not marshmallow. They put white sugar on top and heat it with a torch,
Yeah.
But it was the expanding gas bubbles that gave this one away.
Yeah, I like being a man of science, but you know, you also can't shut down the inside child in me. Today, like most days, I get contacted by someone and he says, I think I found several meteorites. And so we have a discussion, and it's basically, he's like, my wife wants me to reach out to you. I may have this not 100% correct, but my wife wants me to reach out to you to finally put this to bed. So I can say I told you so, or she can say I told you so. Do I have a meteorite that landed on top of another meteorite? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm really being asked this question. So he showed me his 2 meteorites. Russ, I'm sorry. You know, I told you I'd be bluntly honest. Horrible meteorites. Obvious terrestrial material with all my love. All right. After we're done discussing those 2 flops, all of a sudden I get a picture of this. And I get that side of it. And then I get this. And I'm like, Russ, what am I looking at? He's like, oh, that's a stupid rock my wife wanted to show you or something. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're going to have, your wife's going to say, I told you so twice to you. And you're going to, and the one that she made you come over the hill to pick up and you argued or gave her a hard time about carrying possibly could be a meteorite. Can I get your guys' feedback? Because this is...
Yeah, that's definitely a possible. I would like to see photos of the outside of the rock from all different sides. The close-ups are of pretty limited value, it turns out. And especially because most people's close-ups are a 99-cent plastic magnifying glass that they bought from Alibaba.
Yeah, well, or they zoom in all the way to the edge of their digital optical zoom, and it's so pixelated, and they think it helps us because, wow, look how close I am.
And
but
the field, yeah.
But yeah, there's that one's definitely interesting looking. I criminally pissed off somebody the other day on one of the pages about telling people to cut their obvious media wrong, but I would definitely cut a corner off that one.
Yeah. Here's the thing. He didn't want to pick it up because it stood out from all the other rocks in the area, except for the other big ones next to it. And I'm like, big ones? He goes, yeah, there's one bigger than this, and there's a few smaller ones, but they're definitely all identical. I'm like, okay. Excuse me, guys. So I gave him a quick idiot's guide to how to field document a meteorite or possible meteorite find. Draw the strewn field, X where you put it, and label the sample. Give me the weight, the location, take a picture and situation, all that stuff. Whether it is a meteorite or not, this is the scientific method that you use. So he is taking it under advisement and doing it. He's going back out there. He's going to collect the other ones, document the strewn field, and then bring them to me, and we're going to take a look at them together. But
what state is this in, Topher?
Arizona.
Okay, yeah.
I believe there was a lot of chatting, maybe outside of Sun City-ish.
Well, if you want a hand looking at it, let me know.
Yeah, I definitely will. So that's the PowerPoint. Yeah, wow. Could you believe that was probably the most entertaining PowerPoint presentation you have ever seen in your life?
Absolutely.
I can take these things off now. Awesome. Well, that worked out well. Last week we weren't able to share media, and this week we were. So now it's time for me to stop talking because my throat is dry. We're going to go to Mike Kelly and then Pat Brown for show and tell. So I see Mike is now with us and ready, and thank you. A reminder to anyone who shows something, would you please send me a message afterwards? And that way I'll include it in the summary. Mike, what you got for us, buddy?
Sure, yeah. I wanted to show off a couple Nortons today. Just one of them was the one that I'm excited about. That was the first of the year. So I'll switch this around. So these were my old three, one I bought about 3 years ago. A couple little pieces. That one I picked up because it had a little bit of the shock to it going. And then obviously one with a institute number on it. But this was the one that I was happy about. That's the new one. And the first thing you notice on there is it says McKinley stone right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I kind of had to do some research on it because I hadn't heard about that before. And I looked it up, and what I found online was a paper by F.C. Leonard, who was I guess a professor or had some tie to UCLA, and he wrote about the finding of Norton County, and specifically the Furnace County stones in Norton County Fall. And one of the things I found in that article, and I could post it up later as a link, was that they referenced the McKinley stone as being found on the McKinley farm. And it was the second largest piece besides the main mass, which was like 1,200 pounds.
Yeah,
the piece that went to IOM. So this is from like 131 pound piece, which was, I guess, the second largest at the time. And I got to do some research to see if it was if any larger pieces were found after that. But I doubt it. This was a couple months afterwards. So this was my upgrade.
Wow.
And that's what it came in. And, it was sold as 13 point something grams, but he had mentioned that, he had it weighed everything because there are some small fragments in there, and Norton, comes apart a little bit. And it came just like this. And I went, okay, that's a nice big chunk. But when I turned it over.
Oh my God. Surprise,
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I turned it over and I was quite happy with it. And then, the other thing that I wanted was these three. I hit them with a black light, and I got nothing. So I was really hoping that I would get something with this one. And I don't know how this will work. I don't know how this will work on video, but I hit the big one, and I got nothing. And I went, okay, don't be too disappointed. And then I came over to the second one.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and in person, it's got this nice kind of lightish orange look going on to it. But yeah, it's got a decent amount of fluorescence in there. So I was really happy about that. And the price per gram was ridiculous.
That was ridiculously high or low?
Under $8 a gram.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Norton County sells for $30 a gram, just so everyone knows.
The last I bought was 20 or 25 a gram.
Yeah.
So
that is gorgeous, man. What a deal.
Don't think I'll ever be upgrading.
Wow. And that's
amazing.
I'm looking at the fusion crust. It looks a little bit different than the main mass fusion crust, which is a little bit more creamy colored, more caramel colored, since that's
it is. But the interior of this meteorite is not completely homogeneous. It has different materials, and so it's certainly capable of showing different types of fusion crust. But
that could be a patch of different material rather than the exterior of what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big one that's at the Institute of Meteoritics, of course, is a very creamy colored crust and not the least bit translucent.
That is crazy. Mike, great score. On that big piece, you got crust. On the other one, you have fluorescence.
I was pretty happy about that. The other thing that came in was this, and I know there's a decent amount of this going around now. That's the high metal and low metal winonite on there. So I was happy to be able to get a piece of that. And it was, it's a piece from the field, so you can see it's, they windowed it, but it's pretty curved. So it'll be headed out to the lap probably this evening for for a facelift.
That is awesome.
Get it flat and then etch it, and then I picked up a couple pieces of the low metal just to have it to go along with it.
Do you have a magnet there with you?
I do. Let me dig it out.
Because the low metal is extremely low metal compared to the high metal. And I know that sounds like an obvious statement, but I'm part of the classification of this. I'll be one of the specimen holders, and it is really wild stuff. Like, that is extremely magnetic. And then the other ones?
A little bit, but not nearly as much as a stick.
Yeah, see that? That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was it for today.
Awesome, thanks, man. Yeah, Winonites are the new. They're the new. Like orange is the new black. Well, they're the new pallasites, I guess. Yeah, they're the new Martian. Winonites. 2021 is the year of the Winonites. But
and it really had me thinking with some of the pieces that are out there. You know, what's the? I got to do some more research, and I talked to a couple people already. But like, what's the like? Is there an arbitrary line where you kind of say, like we had discussed on a previous hangout? The Howardites and the Eucrites, or I'm sorry, the Howardites and the Diogenites are kind of like there's a cutoff line where you kind of stop calling it one and start calling it the other based on composition. Is it a silicated iron at some point versus a winonite, and where's kind of the scientific acceptable cutoff for the two? Yeah.
I think that's probably in the process of developing right now, because these new high metal ones that have surfaced in the last few months are very different than what we've had before.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to see if one gets called kind of like what is it, Semchen, where the original pieces found were, it was all metal and it was called an iron, right? And then later on they went back and found the other pieces and it was 100% pallacite. Now you find those beautiful transitional pieces at some of the nice shows. So.
Well, we're actually getting isotopic testing done to show that both the high metal and the low metal are from the same meteoritic event. There's a possibility, not a probability, but a possibility that there are two strewn fields of winonites that are small but overlapping, and therefore we're getting samples from two different events combined together. So we're getting the isotopic testing done to show the actual age of the material, and if all the material is aged the same and the strewn field continues in an ellipse rather than getting wider, then that'll give us more information as well. Mike, should I go back to you?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll focus, but I forgot. This is just a cut face on one of those little pieces. So I mean, you could see it has metal in there, but it's nothing like what the high metal looks like on the inside. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for letting me share. Yep. And then Pat, I know you have a big one to show us, buddy, right?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things here. So this is. So I've been playing around with lighting, and I wanted to find another camera to use for looking at rocks, and it's been a mixed experience so far. I bought a $90 document camera off of Amazon, and it's got some serious noise problems, but I have been able to do a couple of fun things with it. So this has so this one has a reflected cross polarized light set up on the front of it, and this is a larger meteorite of 8 kilograms.
Oh man, that makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
Back. So yeah, so what I was doing there was rotating the polarized filter over the light source to be at 90 degrees with a polarized filter that's in the optical path. And so it just brings a whole lot of stuff out into visibility. You can actually see some of the sparkling business there, which is the noise in this thing. It's got a big sensor. It shouldn't have that much noise, but it certainly does. So
it really allows you to see inside the rock through the fusion crust, though.
Yeah. So we'll see how this turns out. But this is a so I've got the polarizers, so they're parallel now. This is a provisional CO3 that been somewhat confirmed by XRF, but it's not in classification yet, but will be soon. So we'll rotate here and get to 90 degrees.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And looks very, very different.
Oh, yeah.
And you can still see some noise there, but it's not terrible.
That's amazing, though.
Yeah. And then I've got one more.
I love when Pat blows your mind and you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. It's like, yeah. I'm like, dude.
I've been playing with this stuff for years. So this is a slice of Allende I picked up not too long ago. The electrons from my government COVID payment weren't even cold in my bank account before slice was bought. So this will be the guess the weight of the meteorite. So 1-inch scale cube and 1 centimeter scale cube.
About 300 grams.
And we'll have everybody.
Can we see it sideways?
Yeah, the thickness.
Yeah, let's do the thickness.
I don't want to show the thickness quite yet.
Okay, because if it's an end cut, I'm going to be guessing a little.
Not an end cut; it's a full slice.
Okay.
And Craig Zaleman is not eligible in this contest because he was the one who cut it. So.
All right.
So there's now the other thing that I've been playing with lighting is
I have my guess in the chat.
Okay. Thank you.
We have CIAs in there.
Yeah. CAIs, yes.
Yeah, I thank you for the correction. I know what I meant, but I just couldn't get it out.
Yeah. Well, and they're the white amoeboid shaped sort of bits there, and there's a lot of interesting chondrules. This one is a lot of fun under the microscope.
Yeah, it is.
And does anybody know who? Let me switch cameras here.
By the way, I really appreciate the upgrade on the camera for the rock showing. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's
it's a work in progress, but it's a lot better.
Yeah, I'm still playing with it. So what's the source for these much thicker membrane cases, if anybody knows?
Mark Lyon made a direct purchase and can give you the contact.
Okay, all right. Well, this slice came in this box from Mark Lyon, so yeah, he probably has a garage full. No, because I bought a bunch from him, but I don't have any of the big ones like that. Yeah, I know that some people did buy several from him, and so the other lighting thing I've found is this LED, and this thing actually It's made for
I have that in my garage.
In garage lighting, yes. And this is one that I got off of Amazon for like $30, incredibly inexpensive. But whoops, these pedals can move, so in your garage you can manipulate the lighting. And I have similar ones out in my workshop in the garage. They're not as bright as this one, but this thing actually consumes 150 watts. I don't know.
For LEDs?
Yeah. I don't know what the watt equivalency is.
They are super bright.
But this thing was $29 on Amazon.
Wow.
LEDs. Wow.
So when I was taking pictures with it, or showing video with it just now, I have it on this gooseneck thing, and I had it pointed at the ceiling, so it was reflecting off of the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then I've got some other lighting experiments in the works here. I bought one of the ring lights and was disappointed with that. This is a chip on board. I think it's meant for automotive fancy looking ring around your headlight thing, but the chip on board construction is, the LEDs are not packaged. They're actually bonded right down to a printed circuit board. And then the whole thing is covered with an RTV silicone stuff, which has kind of a yellow color that you might be able to pick up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that it's not completely transparent, it's somewhat translucent, and so it softens the light, spreads it out. But these super bright whites are UV LEDs that are that work into a fluorescent material that's in this phosphor in this RTV, and get converted down to white light. And I think that's all I got for this week.
Well, that garage light is a really unique use of it, because I have the same thing in my garage. I have two of them, and yeah, you can angle them any way you want, so you don't walk in and get blinded. But I never thought of using them for photography. I actually did. I have a little mini studio over here you guys have seen me do, and I use for the Hangouts. But I recently bought a 6 foot by 8 foot, because that's the smallest I could find, photo backdrop, black on one side, white on the other, that I'm using for my photo studio now. So it's nice to be able to just drape it over something and take the pictures of these pieces. And if I ever want to take a picture of one of those, I at least have a nice clean backdrop now. So yeah, lighting is super important when you're taking photographs, because you want to do as little digital manipulation as possible once you take the photo, so it's captured honestly. So the lighting is really important.
Yeah, I've experimented with all sorts of stuff. This is a work light from Costco that was $30 or something.
The problem with lights like that, I found, or some flashlights, I use flashlights to show translucency of a slice of anything, and they work for photographs but not for videos, because they flicker. The frequency, yeah, it doesn't match your camera.
Yeah, what's happening there, and it's not in all of them. Some the way they adjust the light output of the LEDs is the culprit. If they do it in a series linear sort of fashion, then you won't get that flickering. But if they use pulse width modulation, which turns the LEDs on and off, and our eyes perceive it as a constant light rather than as a flickering light. But yeah, if they use pulse width modulation, you won't be able to take still photos or video, depending on the shutter speed or equivalent shutter speed of your camera, or the frames per second on a video. And that's all I've got. You're muted there, Topper.
No wonder why the camera wasn't coming back to me. All right. You would be amazed at the knowledge bomb that I just dropped on you guys, but no one heard it. So, hey, Pat, thanks a lot for showing the stuff off today, and I appreciate you investing in and trying out and sharing with us your experiments with lighting, because lighting is super important. Ron Metchkis, if we can.
Okay,
There we go.
There we go. Okay, just a couple of random irons here I just want to show. Let me flip, like, choose my camera here.
Did you paint that room?
No, it's just the lighting, the way it's being picked up. Let me change this a little bit here, focus it. This is an Uday station.
Wow.
I picked up about a year ago in Denver. I love Sierra, that's what as good as it's going to get. So it's 56 grams. I just like this one. It struck me. I've always wanted a Uday. I like silicated irons. I have a number of those. So I just wanted to throw this out there and just share it. And then
I really love silicated irons for one main reason. I start looking at it with an eye loop, and you just realize that there's more and more. It's like fractal art, where it keeps the closer you look, the more you see.
I've never tried an eye loop. That's a good idea. I'll try that.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, if like Maxime did in his video today, just putting, I don't know what magnification that was. It looked like maybe 20 times magnification that he was using. It just reveals so much. And then most eye loops are, you want to go with a 30 times. I'm sorry. 30 times for meteorites is usually the default.
I think the only one I have is at 10 times. I used for inspection purposes back when I was gainfully employed.
Yeah, you have to be careful about that. The loops that are sold on Amazon as 30x are really not 30x. They're actually much closer to 10x. I don't know how they get away with the mumbo jumbo crap, but 10x is more standard and is
typical. Yeah.
That's probably what I'm using then, because I'm using cheap Amazon ones because I keep on breaking them. Like I complained last week about the power buttons. I turn them on and turn them off so much, they don't have that duty cycle.
Yeah. Well,
okay, I've got one more I want to share. Okay, this is a Villa Regina that I purchased.
Whoa.
The stats on this one. This one is 183 grams. Let me focus that some better, change the lighting a little bit. Let's see. I was using contrast.
Is this like from Brazil or something?
Just a moment. Let me.
Yeah. Wow. I love seeing meteorites I've never heard of before.
I'm trying to get better contrast. I'm going to get very good contrast. Okay, this one is from Rio Negro, Argentina.
Okay.
I bought this about 3 or 4 years ago, I guess. It's a medium octahedrite. It's a 3AB. I've got several 3ABs, including the white. It's in the same group as the white quartz. And let's see if I can get a better angle on this. That's all better.
Yeah.
But I bought this in, again, I think I got this one in Tucson. Yeah, it's about the best it's going to get. So, I just wanted to share. I've got a few others that I was going to pull out, but I'll wait. I'll save some for next week. The piece I bought from Latvia. Pardon me?
Always keep them wanting, man.
Oh, yeah. Leave them wanting more. So the piece I bought from Latvia, I've been telling you about for the last couple of weeks. It's been stuck in Chicago. It's finally moving. It finally left Chicago 2 days.
Oh, nice.
So I thought I would have it by this week.
Nice.
Wasn't going to happen. So the Turgut, it's been now 34 days. So
Jeez.
someday it's going to get here. So I think that's about all I say. I've got much more,
Awesome.
but
Well,
I'll let somebody else hog the hog.
Oh yeah, no. Save that for us, man. I do. I want to show off my Dar el Kahal. So let me switch cameras and we'll take a look at this one, because this excuse me, this was purchased for my personal collection. And yeah, so this is something I am super happy with. Although I don't know if I'm super happy with the camera resolution today.
Well, part of it is that weird compression scheme that Zoom uses. Yeah, that inclusion is really interesting on that side.
Mm-hmm. This is the side that you saw. This is the side you did not see right here.
Yeah, wow.
Very nice.
That is cool.
The little ghost.
I know, I was thinking the same thing. But yes, absolutely. Look at all that metal. It's an H56, 5-6. So you're not there in the center of the screen. You see two chondrules next to each other, and then on the edge of the screen at 3 o'clock, you see another one. So there are some chondrules in there, but there's not a whole lot.
I saw one small armored chondrule as well.
Yeah, there are a few, and like right there in the center, there's one with no metal around it whatsoever. So let me zoom out real quick.
A lot more of the possibly troilite inclusions in there too, smaller ones.
Yeah, like even up here, there's a square hunk of metal, which shifted. A shock vein going through it, and we got a plain old shift.
Yeah.
Like
What's the terrestrial weathering grade on this one?
I don't have it written down.
Probably a 3 or 2 or 3, I'm guessing, because if you have invisible metal and troilite, then you can't be past a 4, so probably a 2 or 3.
Cool.
Yeah. So this one I was super happy with. This was one that, like I said, I went to Tucson looking for, didn't find a slice I really wanted, so I walked away empty-handed as far as Dar el Kahal. But I'll put that away later. This right here could be the deal of the show. For 35 cents a gram, I pulled this out of the bottom of a bin. As you know, the good stuff falls to the bottom because all the lazy folk only dig on the top 20%, and they're like, oh, these are ugly. Oh, I don't want this. You go all the way to the bottom, and that's where you find the golden nuggets. I have no idea what I'm holding. It is not magnetic at all. Well, hold on a second. No, it is not magnetic at all. See?
There's on the crusted surface, there's it's a chondrule sticking out. Okay. Well, I don't know. Is that a chondrule or is that kind of right in the center?
Yeah, I know. I don't know what it is. That's why I bought it.
Does it stick to your magnet at all?
Not at all. Has no magnetism. But like right there is the chondrule you're looking at. Well, I mean, I know. I can't. Yeah, right there.
That one. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But I have no idea what this thing is. It almost like these white, it almost looks like, I think, plagioclasts up here.
Yeah, that is definitely an interesting one, and definitely worth 30 something cents a gram.
Yeah, you think? I have no idea what it is. So, yeah, keep following for updates, I guess, is all I can say. Let me see. I'll open it up to anyone who'd like to show something off, or open it up for any questions, comments, new subjects. Hey, Ron, you want to laugh at me?
I want to laugh at you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Remember when you did your iron etching video for us?
Yeah.
And you explained all the steps?
Yep.
I tell people this at shows all the time, or I explain to people, this is one of the phrases I use. It's like, I could explain how to paint the Mona Lisa, but you're not gonna be able to do it. You know what I mean? I'm one of those people who cannot paint the Mona Lisa. And if you give me a canvas, I'll probably put my foot through it. This is what happens when I try to acid etch a meteorite. And guys,
oh no,
be prepared. There's no egos here, okay? This is horrible. This is horrible. Horrible. I'm guilty of murder.
Oh, the horror.
Okay, so this is my new 1.3 kilogram Gibeon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Until
you realize, what the acid burn did he do to that thing?
Oh my God.
Boy.
Yeah. Dude, I mucked that up proper.
Did you use nitric acid and high-proof ethanol?
The first time was nitric, and then I resurfaced, and then I did ferric chloride, and I realized I burnt the ever-living bejesus out of it, and I said, you know what? I'm putting this in a bag, and I'm going to send it to an artist, because I'm not an artist. I'm a meteorite killer.
Send that to Craig's Lyman. He'll take care of it.
Yeah, Lehman can sort it out. Yeah, you know, you can definitely see the Widmerstatten pattern of Gibeon near the center.
Yeah,
there.
in the center.
Fine.
Looks like you got fingerprint oil on the thing or something.
Your mom's got all fingerprint oil on her. Yeah, it's. I mean, dude, I mucked it up. I mean, there's nothing I did right on this.
Did you get all the way to a really high polish before you started?
You gotta have it polished. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Again,
in theory, in theory.
In that turn back over, turn back. Oh, turn. Where your thumb is, that crack, is that rust right there? In that little spot right there, you need to electrolyze that. That needs some serious electrolysis.
Yeah,
dude. If someone do a screen capture, that's my etch.
Looks good there.
Well, that looks good there, but that's not so good.
Yeah. Hey, man, I can photo crop like the best. I guarantee I'll be taking a picture of that right there.
Yeah.
But
Gibeon is normally super stable.
Yeah, they're super stable. Yeah.
Yeah. And now that's an interesting piece in that it has some big fractures in it.
Yeah.
And
you're sure that's a Gibeon, not a Muonia lusta?
I was hoping that I bought it as a Gibeon. I paid for it as a Gibeon. I was trying to reveal the pattern to see and verify everything.
I'll tell you, I've got 3 Gibeons that I bought, and I never did a thing to them, and they're stable as all get out. But a Muonia lusta looks just like a Gibeon, but they rust like crazy. In fact, I see more rust in that where your index finger is, right there in that little corner.
Muonia lusta has a different look to the edges, the grain boundaries between the taenite and kamacite. It has kind of a feathery look, where Gibeon is a more well-defined.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you see meteorite face, $30,000 watches,
they're all Gibeon.
Used for that is Gibeon, yeah. Because
there have been some fakes though. I read that some Chinese people bought tons and tons of Moronian Lusta and were selling it off, for jewelry as Gibeon. That was a couple years ago.
Yeah, there's nothing that somebody won't try and cheat.
Oh,
with.
sure.
But
Yeah,
if you're buying a genuine $30,000 watch with a meteorite diode,
yeah, you read about the guy that made a couple of pistols out of some Gibeon, sold for $4 million.
Yeah, wow. So first off, what I think I need to do, because I bought it with a ridiculously unappreciable, worn out etch. Now, I don't know, there's some stones, I've been told there's some irons that, there's some Muniana Lustas, okay, for an example, that just will not etch very well. In fact, I've been directed against buying a lot from a one person because his don't etch very well. So could this be a Gibeon that doesn't etch very well? Could this be a total lack of skill and knowledge on my part? Or could this be a Muniana Lusta on top of all of that?
I don't think it's a Muniana Lusta. It's definitely fairly well shocked. There's those shock veins through it are pretty visible, and then the one area on one side that looks like a block that was broken out, that's a shock effect as well. Yeah, on the lower left there. Yeah. I'd send that to Craig.
Yeah, that needs to go to Craig.
Let him play with it.
Would you do another thin slice and then polish and etch it?
I wanted a Gibeon that was at least over 1 kilo. Okay. So I'm not going to be cutting this at all.
Okay.
I also like the fact that on this side you have 100% face, and on this side you have about 50-50, maybe 60-40, but you have a nice idea of the shape of the meteorite. You can tell this is near the end. There's a nice regmaglyph right here. There's a shallow indentation up here. So it still gives me a lot of information about the meteorite. So I think cutting it any further, because it's expensive as well to cut an iron, I really want, 1.3 kilo sounds a lot better than 0.99. That's why that's why Pat doesn't round down.
Well, you could have both the main slice and the slice that was cut off, and then maybe sweep up the kerf of the saw, and you'd have it all there, but it would be kind of like having it in 3 places at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, Gopher.
Yeah.
Okay, here I have a Gibeon here. The big one's about 830 gram one. This is one I bought years ago. It's one of my first rocks. I don't know if it's in focus or not. I can't tell from here.
Not quite yet.
Okay, let me pull back. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's what I need. Just a minute.
There we go.
Okay, that's what it should look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you compare that, I have one in loose here. I can pull that out too. Here it is. Now, this is also a polished. To me, these look almost identical. This is a polished surface Livonian Lusta. To me, I can't tell the difference.
I can see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. It's again. No egos. I have a hard time. If you put 3 slices down, a Muni, an Alte, and a Muniana Lusta, and a Gibeon, I could probably successfully tell them apart after time.
Okay. Well, here they are side by side.
Yeah.
To me, they look identical. I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Right.
Check them out under a microscope and look at the grain boundaries. It's hard to explain, but the Muin-Illusta, I've seen kind of a feathered edge on the taenite, and you may only be able to see it under 10x magnification or more.
All right, I'll check. I don't have a microscope. I do have a couple loops there I can try. Just my 2 cents worth.
Yep. Well, I appreciate it because I'm definitely going to get this to a professional and get it handled properly, because I feel really guilty about what I did to it.
Before you put yours away,
I do. Well, Mike, can you mute yourself?
Sorry,
I do have something that I want to show, and I believe I am calling this, and I would love to get everyone's opinion on it. I am calling this a hyper-oriented iron. This is a Moroccan unclassified, so it's not Taza and it's not Agudal. It's 100% different. I just got it at the show, and here she goes, coming at you like this. Wham!
Where's it from?
Morocco.
Morocco.
So this would be the leading edge coming down actually like this. And then you have the extended wings on the back with a negative pressure ridge. So I'm open to being wrong. It may be oriented like this and broken in flight. But I would like to get your opinions on it.
It has that. First description was accurate.
A hyper-oriented V.
That's an interesting looking one. The other thing that I think is underappreciated is that as meteorites are in their incandescent flight, they can go through stages of orientation and stages of tumbling. And that can explain some of the unusual markings. Now, on the back side there, that looks like a fracture in flight, and it looks like there might be a little secondary fusion crust in there. But it definitely looks like the crust on the two larger faces wrap around.
That actually looks like a little bit of a lip, but not quite sure.
It could have been that it fractured early on, and that it oriented a couple of different ways as a shield.
Yeah,
that might explain the markings.
It was super interesting, so I bought it. It's definitely available if anyone would like to have it. Well, buy it.
Very pretty little meteorite.
Yeah, I thought it was super interesting. Here's the other one that I bought. Excuse me. And I believe this one shows orientation as well.
Yep.
So
that looks like very similar material. Do they come out of the same?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. These are the same. These two are the same material, but they are not Taza and they're not Agudal. They're from Morocco. And
they are irons, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, very magnetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Topher, how much are you asking for that first one?
I think they're like $4.20 a gram, but I'll do $4 a gram. Yeah, look at that. The first one was, I don't even know, was $24.18. So that would be like $85, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, look at that. So this was a neat little find, digging through some irons and finding one that was oriented as well. Then unless someone has something to show off, I'll continue. Anyone? Bueller? Okay. I have that Martian that I showed you guys earlier. The beautiful one. Well, I actually own some of it. I did not buy that big one. I could not afford that.
I was hoping you did.
Yeah. Take a look at this. This is 2.65 grams.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Oh man, that's got a killer crust on it. Oh.
And this one's oriented.
Yeah.
It's a complete oriented fusion crusted Mars.
Wow.
Sweet.
And available for sale. I really don't want to turn these into sales pitches, but I just bought this stuff yesterday and I'm dead broke. Yeah, but look at that fusion crust.
Yeah, look at how thick it is on the backside there.
Yeah.
Very glassy. That didn't spend much time getting sandblasted.
No, look at that. That is the best quality Martian crust, complete individual.
It's a keeper.
Yeah, I'm a dealer, not a hoarder.
If you were single, that might change.
There you go.
Yeah. So this is my temporary Martian beauty. And the good thing about it is if you buy it from me, you'll definitely see it in advertising or in my marketing.
That's a pretty sizable piece.
Look at that. Yeah. So that's one that I got. And here is the other one. That was 2.6. This is 2.44.
Mm-hmm. Get a couple of killer pieces.
Look at the flow lines going over the edges.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a beauty too. We're picking up almost a bit of a dark greenish tint on the photo. Real?
Yep. I showed these to my wife and she was like, they look blue.
Yeah.
It does look blue.
It is jet. It looks jet black when you look at it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just depends how it's refracting the light.
Yeah. I'm sure under Pat's microscope you would see a different look, but yeah, I think this may. I don't want to jump the gun and say oriented on everything, but we do have a nice fusion flow lines.
Is there a location for these?
Yeah, these are actually classified. They're NWA 12954s. Now these were. Hold on, I can zoom out. Martian Shergottite field paired by Mohammed Hamani.
Nice.
Yeah, that is. Oh, screensaver. Yeah, so that's definitely a little oriented one, buddy. Yeah. So these are some of the purchases I made this Sunday when I was in Quartzsite. Let me go ahead and end this for 1 second. All right. Hey, Mike, you have an opinion on that Gibeon / questionable Munion Alusta? Please tell me you know something I don't.
I was just going to say the exterior of it kind of looks like Gibeon because the Munion Alustias, the way that they've been terrestrialized, in order to get them cleaned up, they have a large amount of material that shales off the edge of them to the point where you get the Wood-Mattenstein pattern sticking through actually by the time they're cleaned. So,
yeah.
What you're showing has that smooth
one.
look to it. So that doesn't look like it's Munion Alustia to me.
Oh, good. Okay. Like I said, no egos. I thought I was an educated buyer when I bought it. I bought it from a trusted source. but because I bought it because I wanted an acid etching project. So because of that, I couldn't see the pattern before I bought it, but based on who I got it from, I felt comfortable. So I'm very glad that you agree that it's probably a Gibeon, because that's twice as much as a Mooney.
This one's heavily cleaned, heavily cleaned, but I mean, you could see the pattern. You know, you imagine it if it was a little more rusty, but you get that non-smooth exterior where you actually get the pattern sticking out from the amount of terrestrialization that's occurred. That's kind of like chewed away at the outside of it.
So the 3D pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually that makes me happy, because I was a little bit worried, to be honest with you, as you guys were talking about it. Does anyone else have something they want to show off? Because I will go to you, but if not, I have a rare ungrouped Achondrite NWA 011 pair. Yeah, so this is NWA 011 pair, which is NWA 2400. Still a remarkable one. This is the one I bought for myself, but a lot of I'll shift cameras. A lot of the ones I bought have fusion crust and have beautiful crystals. So this is an ungrouped Achondrite. We're not sure the parent body, but it is a beautiful stone. And just to give people in YouTube land an idea of what we're talking about price-wise, on what did we just look at? The crusted Mars, that's $200 a gram, and this is A-grouped Achondrite, and this is the same price. This is about $200 a gram, about $150 a gram, something like that. But so that tells you how, it may not be as impressive as saying I'm holding a piece of Mars, but scientifically and the rarity of it drives the value of it as well. So that's how important this piece is, that it's priced in the same ballpark as a beautiful crusted Martian Shergottite. And I'm not educated enough, but that black inclusion, or that black material, that is what scientists find interesting and important about this. And that's all I will comment on it, because anything else, I'll be making stuff up. But the main mass holder of NWA 2400, which is this, I believe that's Hamani. Anyway, he's very experienced and obviously bought a bunch of it and knows a bunch about it. He told me definitely pick out pieces with the black inclusions. But this is my personal piece. This one weighs in at 2.5 grams and shows pretty nice fusion crust.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if anyone is looking for NWA 011, good luck. If you're looking for a pair of it, this is it's a field pair to NWA 2400, but NWA 2400 is a MetBull direct pair to NWA 011, if that makes sense to you guys. I have a few other pieces. Let me just grab one other one. So, like I said, that was my personal piece. Here's just one I picked at random. So 1 gram. So you're looking at about, $150. And this is crust along the whole top of it inside. Lots of the black inclusions, whatever they are. A little, looks like a little bit of iron right there on top. I'm not sure if it is or not, but the crystals on it are crazy. And again, this is like reduced and zoomified. If you're looking at this with Maxime's scope, you can get lost in there.
Yep.
So this is another thing that another one that I invested a lot of time in on Sunday, enjoying when I was in Quartzsite, because I've heard about NWA 11, but I've never really had a chance to see, hold, and examine it. So I have, I don't know, about 10 samples or maybe more. But
do we know what microscope Maxime has?
No, that's a good question. I'm sure when he watches this, he's gonna comment.
Yeah,
that's a good test. See if he watches it.
Oh no.
Yeah. If he tells me, "Hey, I really enjoy the Hangout," I'm like, "Okay, what's the answer to the question then, Maxime?" No, I would never put my guys on the spot like that.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Pat, did you want to give the answer to the guess the weight, or do you want us to do that after?
Well, I thought it might be entertaining and may help with the audience on YouTube if we didn't say it yet. I can email it to you or send it to you private in the chat. But I don't know, depending on what you want to do, completely up to you.
That's fine. Let's always keep them wanting more. Yeah. So if you guys want, go make sure you comment in the chat your guess of the weight, and I'll reveal that in my summary. There wasn't a whole lot of show and tell besides me today. I really wasn't trying to be greedy and be a camera hog, but coming back from the show this weekend, I had a lot of interesting stuff to talk about and a lot of interesting stuff to show. Hold on one second.
Somebody there. I don't have any answers. It's a question.
Talking about Tucson? Yeah. The latest I've heard about Tucson is this show is going to happen. People are going to be there. It will be scaled back. All shows, all displays will be external. They'll be outside. So even if you're a dealer and you are renting a room for a month, you can't sell in your room. You have to sell outside your room, or you have to buy a tent outside. That's the latest I've heard.
This is in April, right?
Correct. The dates and all the information are actually available on Facebook. There's a new Facebook group that I've discovered for the Tucson Rock, Gem, and Mineral Show. And they actually have announcements and information. So if you guys are interested in the Tucson show, be sure to check out and maybe if someone can shoot it to me, I'll put it in the description of this of the live Hangout. But there is an official Tucson show Facebook group, whatever page that has the information on it. So it will be a scaled back show. It will be in April, and I will be there, and I will be offering my personal shopping services. So if you're looking for something in particular, let me know, and I'll definitely look while I'm there. If you guys see something on one of my live broadcasts from the show, you can always send me a message and I'll go back and negotiate on your behalf for the piece. And that works out really well because the sellers, the dealers appreciate the exposure and getting their name and their pieces shown to people. And it works for you guys too, because you obviously don't have to leave your couch. I'm doing all the work for you. And it also works for me because, you know, there's gonna be a little bit of service charge in there for my time, and I will be glad to help you out by sending it to you directly. It's not not about the money with me. It's about getting the meteorites in the meteorite lovers' hands. So with that, I think we're calling it a day today. Every week we have a great hangout, and I really appreciate you guys. I know I was talking my head off today. I did most of the talking except for the videos that we had. So I appreciate you guys paying attention and sharing. Next week, I'm open for suggestions for topics. So just reach out to me. And if you don't mind, subscribe. Ask everyone, make fake profiles and subscribe. Good night, guys. Have a good one.
Good night.
Take care.
Good night, everybody.
Would you stay on for
everyone?
Have a good weekend.
Good night, all.
Thanks, Fly on the Wall.
Topher, so there's a Facebook group called Tucson Gem Show all run together that looks